Wayne Michael Carter Jr. was born on September 27, 1982, and spent his first few years in the impoverished Holly Grove neighborhood of Uptown New Orleans, Louisiana's 17th Ward. His mother, a cook, gave birth to him when she was 19 years old. His parents divorced when he was 2 and his father permanently abandoned the family. In a 2009 interview, CBS News anchor Katie Couric asked the rapper why he used the name Wayne instead of Wayne Carter, and Wheezy, redirect here. For the race car driver, see Dwayne Carter. For the similarly named record producer, see Wheezy. Wayne Michael Carter Jr., born September 27, 1982, known professionally as Lil Wayne, is an American rapper. He is often regarded as one of the most influential hip-hop artists of his generation, as well as one of the greatest rappers of all time. Born and raised in New Orleans, he was discovered by hometown rapper Birdman in 1993 and signed with his record label, Cash Money Records, at age 11. He emerged as the label's flagship artist until his departure in June 2018. He was first placed in a duo with Cash Money labelmate B.G., then known as Lil Doogie, in 1994, known collectively as the B.G.'s, and they released an album, True Story, in July of that year, although Carter, at the time known as Baby D, appeared on only 3 of its tracks. Carter and B.G. then formed the southern hip-hop group Hot Boys with labelmates Juvenile and Turk in 1997. They released their debut album, Get It How You Live, in October of that year. The Hot Boys gained mainstream success following the release of their second album Guerrilla Warfare, 1999, and their appearance on B.G.'s single, Bling Bling. The group briefly disbanded after the album due to each member, besides Carter, parting ways with the label, although one further album, Let 'Em Burn, 2003, was released. Carter's debut studio album, De Block Is Hot 1999, quickly achieved commercial success and served as his breakthrough as a solo act, followed by Lights Out 2000, and 500 Degrees 2003. His fourth and fifth albums, De Carter 2004, and De Carter 2 2005, both debuted within the top 5 of the Billboard 200 and received critical acclaim. His sixth album, De Carter 3 2008, yielded the pinnacle of Wayne's career, with first-week sales of over 1 million units domestically. Furthermore, it won the Best Rap Album at the 51st Annual Grammy Awards and was supported by his first Billboard Hot 100 #1 single, Lollipop, featuring Static Major, the top 10 singles, A Milli, and Got Money, featuring T-Pain, and the top 20 single, Mrs. Officer, featuring Bobby V and Kid Kid. Carter is also credited with revolutionizing the mixtape scene with his innovative approach in the 2000s. Carter's seventh studio album, Rebirth 2010, experimented with rap rock and was released in February of that year to generally negative critical response. A month later in March, he began serving an 8-month jail sentence for criminal possession of a weapon stemming from an incident in July 2007. His eighth album, I Am Not a Human Being, 2010, was released during his incarceration, while his ninth album, De Carter 4, 2011, followed months after his release from prison. Despite mixed reviews, De Carter 4 sold 964,000 units in its first week domestically. His 12th studio album, De Carter 5, 2018, preceded by I Am Not a Human Being 2, 2013, and Free Wheezy album, 2015, was released following long-term delays and label disputes, and was met with 480,000 in first-week sales. His 13th album, Funeral 2020, became his 5th non-consecutive #1 album, and his 14th, De Carter 6, is scheduled for release in June 2025. Carter has sold over 120 million records worldwide, including over 25 million albums and 95 million digital tracks in the United States, making him one of the world's best-selling music artists. He has won 5 Grammy Awards, 11 BET Awards, 4 Billboard Music Awards, 2 MTV Video Music Awards and 8 NAACP Image Awards. On September 27, 2012, he became the first male artist to surpass Elvis Presley with the most entries on the Billboard Hot 100, with 109 songs. Carter founded the record label Young Money Entertainment in 2005, which has signed artists including Drake, Tyga and Nicki Minaj. Early life. Wayne Michael Carter Jr. was born on September 27, 1982, and spent his first few years in the impoverished Holly Grove neighborhood of Uptown New Orleans, Louisiana's 17th Ward. His mother, a cook, gave birth to him when she was 19 years old. His parents divorced when he was 2 and his father permanently abandoned the family. In a 2009 interview, CBS News anchor Katie Couric asked the rapper why he used the name Wayne instead of his given name. Carter replied, "I'll tell you why I dropped the D right here on TV. I dropped the D because I am a junior. My father, he's livin', and he is not in my life and he's never been in my life. So I don't wanna be Dwayne. I'd rather be Wayne. Couric asked if his father knew that, and Carter, chuckling, said, he knows it now. Carter has said that he considers his deceased stepfather Reginald "Rabbit" McDonald to be his real father. Carter has a tattoo dedicated to McDonald. Carter was enrolled in the gifted program at Lafayette Elementary School. He later attended Eleanor McMain Secondary School for 2 years, where he was an honor student and a member of the drama club, playing the Tin Man in the school's production of The Wiz. Despite matriculating to Marion Abramson Senior High School, Carter left during his 10th grade year to pursue a GED. Carter's mother made the decision to remove him from school for his safety. At 15, Carter was already finding success in the music industry. His mother decided he needed to leave high school after discovering the gun he packed in his school bag for protection. Carter wrote his first rap song at age 8. In the summer of 1991, he met rapper and Cash Money Records co-founder Brian "Baby" Williams, known currently as Birdman, who mentored him and encouraged his love of hip-hop. Birdman included Carter on several Cash Money tracks, and he, in return, would often record freestyle raps on Williams's answering machine. In 1994, at age 12, Carter suffered a near-fatal self-inflicted gunshot wound to the chest. At the time, he said the injury was accidental. However, in September 2018, Carter claimed in interviews that it was an attempted suicide after he was told by his mother that he would have to end his rap-related associations. Carter credits off-duty police officer Robert Hubler, 1956 to 2022, who he calls Uncle Bob, with saving his life by insisting the dying child be driven immediately to hospital in a police car rather than waiting for an ambulance to become available. Other accounts indicate that several officers played a part in deciding on and implementing that course of action. Career: 1994 to 1999, career beginnings in Hot Boys. After recovering from his self-inflicted gunshot wound, Carter linked with Christopher Dorsey, a local New Orleans rapper known as BG, his longtime friend, future Cash Money labelmate and Hot Boys bandmate. They would later form their duo, the Bee Gees, with BG being named Lil Doogie, and Carter being Baby D. They only released one album under the group name, True Story, 1995. In 1997, Carter and Dorsey then joined the hip-hop quartet The Hot Boys, along with rappers and labelmates Juvenile and Turk. Having joined at age 14, Carter was the youngest member at the time. Hot Boys' debut album, Get It How You Live, was released the same year, followed in 1999 by the group's major label debut Guerrilla Warfare, which respectively reached number 1 on the Billboard Top R&B Hip-Hop Albums chart and number 5 on the Billboard 200. During their career, the Hot Boys had 2 charting singles, We on Fire from Get It How You Live and I Need a Hot Girl from Guerrilla Warfare. The group shared a track, Bling Bling, alongside another Cash Money group duo Big Timers consisting of Birdman and producer Manny Fresh. Carter's verse appeared only on the radio version of the song, while on the album version he performed on the chorus. Bling Bling appeared on Hot Boys member BG's solo album, Chopper City in the Ghetto, released in April 1999. Carter was also featured on Juvenile's single, Back That Ass Up, which reached number 18 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 5 on the Hot R&B, Hip-Hop Singles and Tracks. Let 'Em Burn, a compilation album of unreleased tracks recorded by the quartet during 1998 and 2000, was released in March 2003, several years after the group disbanded. It reached number 3 on the top R&B, Hip-Hop Albums chart but underperformed on the Billboard 200 at number 14, 1999 to 2004, De Block is Hot, Lights Out, and 500 Degrees. Carter's debut solo album, De Block is Hot, was released on November 2, 1999, when he was 17 and featured significant contributions from the Hot Boys. It debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200 and was later certified platinum by the RIAA in December 1999, less than a month after its release. The album earned Carter a 1999 Source magazine nomination for Best New Artist, and also became a top 10 hit. The lead single was the album's title track, which its chorus was performed by Carter's former Hot Boys cohort, Juvenile and BG. His second album, Lights Out, was released on December 19, 2000. It failed to attain the level of success achieved by his debut, but was certified gold by RIAA in June 2001, nearly 6 months after its release. Critics noted the lack of coherent narratives in his verses as evidence that he had yet to mature to the level of his fellow Hot Boys. The lead single was Get Off the Corner, which was noticed for an improvement in its lyrical content and style. The second single, which received less attention, was Shine, featuring the Hot Boys. Near the release of Lights Out, Carter was featured on the single, #1 Stunna, with Big Timers and Juvenile, which peaked at number 24 on the Hot Rap Tracks chart. The track, originally featured on Big Timers' I Got That Work, would be used for the Spike Lee-directed comedy film, The Original Kings of Comedy. Carter's third album, 500 Degrees, was released in August 2002. It followed the format of his previous two, with significant contributions from the Hot Boys and Mannie Fresh. While being certified gold like its predecessor, it also failed to match the success of his debut. The title was a reference to the recently estranged Hot Boys member Juvenile's debut solo studio album, 400 Degrees, 1998. Its lead single was Way of Life, featuring Birdman and singer TQ with narration by its producer, Mannie Fresh. It reached number 71 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 23 on the Hot R&B, Hip-Hop Songs charts. The single featured a sample of Tupac Shakur's diss track Towards the Notorious B.I.G., Hit 'Em Up 1996, which itself sampled Dennis Edwards and Saida Garrett's Don't Look Any Further, 1984. Despite the album's commercial failure, John Bush of AllMusic praised 500 Degrees, while calling Way of Life an infectious party hit. After the release of 500 Degrees, Carter was featured on the single, Never Get Enough by 3LW, and later appeared on his future girlfriend, singer Nivea's single, Ya Ya Ya. 2004 to 2006, DeCarter, DeCarter 2, and Like Father, Like Son. On June 29, 2004, Carter's fourth studio album, DeCarter, was released, marking what critics considered advancement in his rapping style and lyrical themes. In addition, the album's cover art featured the debut of Wayne's now signature dreadlocks. DeCarter gained Wayne significant recognition, selling 878,000 copies in the United States, while the single, Go DJ, became a top 5 hit on the Billboard Hot R&B, Hip-Hop Songs chart. After the release of DeCarter, Lil Wayne was featured on Destiny's Child's single, Soldier, alongside Atlanta rapper T. I, which peaked at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and the Hot R&B, Hip-Hop Songs charts. In 2005, Carter appeared on a remix of singer Bobby Valentino's Tell Me, which rose to number 13 on the US Hot R&B Songs chart. That same year, Carter was named the president of Cash Money Records, but was later granted his own label. He founded Young Money Entertainment as an imprint of Cash Money and Universal Music Group. However, as of late 2007, Carter reported having stepped down from the management of both labels and handed management of Young Money over to his longtime manager, Cortez Bryant. DeCarter 2, the sequel to 2004's DeCarter, was released on December 6, 2005. Mannie Fresh was not involved in the production of the album, as he had left the label prior, due to financial issues. DeCarter 2 sold more than 238,000 copies in its first week of release, debuting at number 2 on the Billboard 200. The album went on to sell 2 million copies worldwide. The lead single, Fireman, became a hit in the US, peaking at 32 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. Other singles included Grown Man, with Currency, Hustler Music, and Shooter, with R&B singer Robin Thicke. In 2006, Carter collaborated with his label boss Birdman for the album, Like Father, Like Son, which its first single, Stuntin' Like My Daddy, reached number 21 on the Billboard Hot 100. 2006 to 2007, mixtapes and collaborations. Instead of a follow-up solo album, Carter began to reach his audience through a plethora of mixtapes and guest appearances on a variety of pop, R&B and hip-hop singles. Of his many mixtapes, Dedication 2 and Dod Route 3 received the most media exposure and critical review. Dedication 2, released in 2006, paired Carter with DJ Drama and contained the acclaimed socially conscious track Georgia Bush, a remix of Field Mob and Ludacris, Georgia, in which Carter critiqued former U.S. President George W. Bush's response to the effects of Hurricane Katrina on the city of New Orleans. Dod Route 3 was released the following year and was available for free legal download. It contained Carter rapping over a variety of beats from recent hits by other musicians. A number of prominent hip-hop magazines such as XXL and Vibe covered the mixtape. Christian Hort of Rolling Stone magazine considered the mixtapes Dod Route 3 and The Drought Is Over 2, the Carter 3 Sessions, among the best albums of 2007. Despite no album release for 2 years, Carter appeared in numerous singles as a featured performer, including returning in 2006 with the remix to Gimme That by Chris Brown, Make It Rain by Fat Joe and You by Lloyd, and in 2007 with We Takin' Over by DJ Khaled, also featuring Akon, T.I., Rick Ross, Fat Joe, and Birdman, Duffel Bag Boy by Play a Circle, Sweetest Girl, Dollar Bill by Wyclef Jean, also featuring Akon, and the remix to I'm So Hood by DJ Khaled, also featuring T-Pain, Young Jeezy, Ludacris, Busta Rhymes, Big Boy, Fat Joe, Birdman, and Rick Ross. All these singles charted within the top 20 spots on the Billboard Hot 100, Hot Rap Tracks, and Hot R&B, Hip-Hop Songs charts. On Birdman's 2007 album, Five Stunna, Carter appeared on the singles 100 Million and I Run This, among several other tracks. Carter also appeared on tracks from albums Get Back by Little Brother, American Gangster by Jay-Z, and Graduation by Kanye West and Insomniac by Enrique Iglesias. Make It Rain 2006, a Scott Storch production that peaked at number 13 on the Hot 100 and number 2 on the Hot Rap Tracks chart, was nominated for the Grammy Award for Best Rap Performance by a Duo or Group for 2008. Vibe magazine ranked a list of 77 of Lil Wayne's songs from 2007 and ranked his verse in DJ Khaled's We Talkin' Over as his best of 2007, with Dough Is What I Got, a freestyle over the beat of Jay-Z's Show Me What You Got from Da Drought 3. At the end of 2007, an MTV poll selected Lil Wayne as hottest MC in the game, The New Yorker magazine ranked him Rapper of the Year, and GQ magazine named him Workaholic of the Year. In 2008, he was named Best MC by Rolling Stone. Another article, built around Lil Wayne's 2007 mixtape work, cites his creative practice as an example of post-performance creative practice. 2007 to 2010, to Carter 3, We Are Young Money, and Rebirth. In 2007, Carter stated that he would reunite with Hot Boys, with plans to release an album after B.G's solo album Too Hood to Be Hollywood was completed. The Carter 3 was originally scheduled to be released in 2007, but it was delayed after several recordings were leaked and distributed through mixtapes, including The Drought Is Over Part 2 and The Drought Is Over Part 4. Lil Wayne initially planned to release The Leak, a separate album with leaked songs and 4 additional tracks, on December 18, 2007, with The Carter 3 delayed to March 18, 2008. Instead, The Leak became an EP with 5 songs and was released digitally on December 25, 2007. The Carter 3 was released on June 10, 2008, with first week sales of over 1 million copies, the first to do so since 50 Cent's The Massacre 2005. The album's first single, Lollipop, featuring Static Major, became the Carter's most successful song at the time, topping the Billboard Hot 100 and becoming his first top 10 single as a solo artist and his first number 1 on the chart. The third single, Got Money, featuring T-Pain, peaked at number 13 on the Billboard 100. The Carter 3 went on to win 4 Grammy Awards, including Best Rap Album and Best Rap Song, which he won for Lollipop. On July 14, 2008, the Recording Industry Association of America certified The Carter 3 2 times platinum. In October 2008, Lil Wayne announced plans to MTV News to re-release the album with new tracks, including a duet with Ludacris and remixes of A Milli. Carter also appeared on R&B singles Girls Around the World by Lloyd, Love in This Club, Part 2 by Usher, Official Girl by Cassie, I'm So Paid by Akon, Turnin' Me On by Carrie Hilson, and Can't Believe It by T-Pain. Rap singles, My Life by The Game, Shawty Say, by David Banner, Swagga Like Us by T.I. Cuddy Buddy by Mike Jones, All My Life, In The Ghetto, by J-Rock and the remix to Certified, by Glasses Malone, and pop single, Let It Rock by New Cash Money artist Kevin Rudolph. Throughout 2008, Carter performed at the Voodoo Experience in October in New Orleans, which was described by Jonathan Cohen of Billboard as his biggest hometown headlining set of his career. He also performed at the Virgin Mobile Music Fest with Kanye West, where they performed the remix of Lollipop, and lip-synced to Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You. Lil Wayne also performed at the 2008 MTV Video Music Awards with Kid Rock, All Summer Long, Leona Lewis, Don't Get It, Misunderstood, and T-Pain, Got Money, and performed Lollipop and Got Money on the season premiere of Saturday Night Live. He later performed at the Homecoming Rally at Vanderbilt University in the 2008 BET Hip Hop Awards, where he received 12 nominations. He won 8 awards at the BET Hip Hop Awards, one of which included the MVP title. After MIA dropped out of performing on Carter's I Am Music tour due to her pregnancy, Jay-Z performed Mr. Carter with Lil Wayne at select shows. After The Carter 3 sold over 3 million copies and became the best-selling record of 2008, Carter re-signed with Cash Money Records for a multi-album deal. On November 11, 2008, Carter became the first hip-hop act to perform at the Country Music Association Awards, playing All Summer Long alongside Kid Rock, in which Carter inaudibly strummed guitar strings alongside the guitarist in Kid Rock's band. Shortly after, Wayne was nominated for 8 Grammys, the most for any artist nominated that year. He was then named the first MTV Man of the Year at the end of 2008. He won the Grammy Award for Best Rap Solo Performance for "A Milli," Best Rap Performance by a Duo or Group for his appearance on T.I.'s single, "Swagga Like Us," and Best Rap Song for "Lollipop." Carter 3 won the award for Best Rap Album. MTV News listed Carter number 2 on their 2009 list of the hottest MCs in the game. Prior to the 2009 Grammy Awards, Wayne was featured in an interview with Katie Couric. On February 7, 2009, he presented the Top 10 list on CBS's Late Show with David Letterman. On April 24, 2009, he appeared on The View, discussing his GED and addictions. In September 2009, Carter was profiled in an episode of VH1's Behind the Music and was a presenter of the 2009 MTV Movie Awards. In film, Carter produced and composed music for and starred in the direct-to-video film Hurricane Season. A documentary of Carter, titled The Carter, was released at the Sundance Film Festival. On December 23, 2009, Carter released his label, Young Money's first compilation album, We Are Young Money, with its lead single being Every Girl. The second single was Bedrock, featuring Lloyd, with the third being Roger That. On May 24, 2010, the album was certified gold by the RIAA with over 500,000 copies sold. Carter is featured on the song, Revolver, with Madonna for her greatest hits album, Celebration, 2009. He was also featured on a Weezer song, Can't Stop Partying, on Ratitude, 2009. In late 2008, Carter announced plans to reissue Carter 3 with leftover recordings, and was to be titled Rebirth, originally scheduled to be released on April 7, 2009, before being delayed several times. Rebirth instead became his 6th solo studio album, re-recorded with replaced material and later released on February 2, 2010. The album received negative reviews from fans and critics, considering it Carter's worst album released since 500 Degrees, 2002. To support its release and that of We Are Young Money, Carter was featured on the cover of Rolling Stone and headlined the Young Money Presents, America's Most Wanted Music Festival, a United States and Canada-only concert tour which began on July 29, 2009. Prom Queen, the first official single, debuted on January 27, 2009, immediately after a live internet broadcast of his concert in San Diego on Ustream, now IBM Cloud Video. It peaked at number 15 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts. On December 3, 2009, the second single, On Fire, produced by Cool and Dre, was released. Based on a sample of Amy Holland's She's on Fire, from the soundtrack to the 1983 film, Scarface, On Fire peaked at number 33 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. Drop the World, which features Eminem, was the album's third single. It was produced by a then-unknown Hit Boy. 2010 to 2013, I Am Not a Human Being series and Carter 4. In an interview on MTV's Mixtape Monday, Carter hinted at the release of Carter 4. He later announced that it would be released in late 2009 before the holiday season. Birdman had previously stated that Carter 4 would be packaged with Rebirth as a double-disc album. Carter denied this, saying that Carter 4 deserves Carter 4, adding that We Are Young Money may be packaged with Rebirth. These albums were eventually released separately. Carter released his 8th album, I Am Not a Human Being, on his 28th birthday, September 27, 2010. The album was released during Carter's incarceration on a weapon possession charge. The album has sold over 953,000 copies in the US and spawned the successful single, Right Above It, which peaked at number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100. The album also debuted at number 2, but later climbed to number 1 on the Billboard 200, making Carter the first rapper while incarcerated, since Tupac Shakur's Me Against the World, released in 1995, to have a number 1 album. Carter 4 was delayed into 2011, after Lil Wayne began recording from scratch after his release from prison. He described his first song since his release as a 2010 version of A Milli on steroids. The lead single from Carter 4, 6 Foot 7 Foot featuring Corey Guns, was released on December 15, 2010. On March 8, Carter released another song, We Back Soon, though it was not included on the official track listing of Carter 4. The second single, John, featuring Rick Ross, was released on March 24. In an interview on March 29, Carter announced that he would retire at age 35, saying that, "I would feel selfish still going to the studio when it's such a vital point in the lives of his 4 children." Throughout a 2-year period between 2010 and 2012, Carter has been featured in many hit singles such as "I Made It", "Cash Money Heroes" by Kevin Rudolph, "Miss Me", "The Motto", and "HYFR", "Hell Ya Fucking Right" by Drake, "No Love" by Eminem, "Hit the Lights" by Jay Sean, "Look at Me Now" by Chris Brown, "Welcome to My Hood", "I'm on One", "Take It to the Head", and "No New Friends" by DJ Khaled, "Motivation" by Kelly Rowland, "Ballin" by Young Jeezy, "Strange Clouds" by B.O.B., "I Can Only Imagine" by David Guetta, "Faded" by Tyga, "Pop That" by French Montana, and "Banza Make Her Dance" by Juicy J. The artwork for DeCarter 4 was unveiled on April 20th. Originally scheduled to be released on May 16, it was delayed several times until being confirmed for release on August 29, 2011. On May 26, the album's third single, "How to Love", was released. He released another track, "Dear and Stand Part 2", in June. In preparation for DeCarter 4, Carter released a mixtape, "Sorry for the Wait", in similarity to his mixtape No Ceilings 2009. The mixtape was re-released on streaming services in January 2022 with 4 additional tracks. Finally released on August 29, 2011, DeCarter 4 debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, with first-week sales of 964,000 copies, overshadowing the first-week sales of Jay-Z and Kanye West's "Watch the Throne", making it Carter's third chart-topping album of his career. On January 8, 2012, according to Nielsen SoundScan, Carter was the 7th all-time best-selling artist for digital track sales with 36,788,000 million to the end of 2011. In October 2011, it was reported that Carter was working on sequels to both I Am Not a Human Being and Rebirth. In January 2012, Birdman announced that he and Carter had finished recording Like Father, Like Son 2. On November 22, 2012, Carter announced that DeCarter 5 would be his final album, as he wanted to pursue other interests. After a 1-year delay, I Am Not a Human Being 2 was released on March 26, 2013, debuting at #2 on the Billboard 200, selling 217,000 copies in its first week. My Homies Still Love Me and No Worries were released as singles prior to its release. The album was met with generally mixed reviews, with most critics noticing the declining quality of his releases. Carter toured North America with 2 Chainz and T.I. on the second America's Most Wanted festival. On May 3, 2013, Pepsi dropped Carter, who was a spokesperson for Mountain Dew, due to him performing offensive lyrics about civil rights icon Emmett Till on the remix to rapper Future's single, Karate Chop. On September 1, 2013, Carter released Dedication 5, the 5th installment of the Dedication mixtape series. The mixtape featured 29 tracks, with guest appearances from several members of Young Money. 2014 to 2019, Free Weezy album and DeCarter 5. On October 18, 2013, former Cash Money Records Vice President of Promotion Mel Smith tweeted, "Happy Friday!" New YMCMB music coming soon. Carter 5. Nearly 4 months later, in an interview with The Griffin, released on February 14, 2014, Smith spoke on the upcoming album. "We're very close to dropping the album. It's going to be a huge surprise to everyone. I can't release the date because he wants to surprise people." On February 15, during Drake's performance at the NBA All-Star Weekend festivities in New Orleans, Carter appeared as a guest performer before announcing that DeCarter 5 would be released on May 5, 2014. In March 2014, Carter again said during an interview at South by Southwest that DeCarter 5 would be his last album. On March 27, 2014, Carter's manager Cortez Bryant announced that the album had been delayed. Carter then released a single, "Believe Me", which features vocals from Drake, to mainstream urban radio in the United States on May 6, 2014. 3 more singles, "Crazy", "Brendan", featuring Drake, and "Start a Fire", featuring Christina Milian, were also released but ultimately scrapped from the album. Carter and Drake embarked on their joint tour, Drake vs. Lil Wayne, running from August 8 to September 28, 2014, determining who is the best rapper on tour and in the world. The concept of the tour was based on the Street Fighter franchise. It was the 3rd largest grossing hip-hop concert tour of 2014 behind Eminem and Rihanna's Monster Tour, and Jay-Z and Beyoncé's On the Run tour. In late 2014, Carter claimed that the album's release was postponed due to his financial disputes with Cash Money. On January 20, 2015, Carter self-released Sorry for the Wait 2, a sequel to his 2011 mixtape, to compensate for the continued delay of DeCarter 5. In February 2015, due to Carter 5's delay, Carter announced that a free album would be released prior to the fifth installment in his popular series. In June 2015, Carter joined Jay-Z's Tidal as an artist owner, kicking off the partnership by exclusively releasing a single on the service titled Glory. He also announced plans on his own Tidal X concert series. On July 4, 2015, Carter released Free Weezy album, exclusively through Tidal, under Young Money and Republic Records. On January 27, 2016, when rapper 2 Chainz released his Felt Like Cappin' EP, Carter is featured on the lead single titled Back on That Bullshit. On March 4, 2016, 2 Chainz released his third studio album, Call a Groove. The album was initially a collaborative effort between 2 Chainz and Carter, but due to his record label issues, only 2 Chainz was credited as the primary artist. Citation needed. On June 28, 2016, Carter was one of several artists who appeared on the track Sucker for Pain for the film Suicide Squad. In September 2016, Carter tweeted, "I am now defenseless and mentally defeated," followed by stating, "I'm done," hinting at a possible retirement. Many rappers responded with respect and encouragement. In 2017, Carter announced he had signed with Jay-Z's Roc Nation, although he later stated that there was no official paperwork that he signed to the label. On August 8, 2017, he released the song, Like a Man, with sound engineer On Hell. On June 7, 2018, it was announced that Carter had been released from Cash Money Records and would be releasing Carter 5 via Young Money and Republic Records. In September 2016, Carter's song, No Mercy, debuted as the theme song for Skip and Shannon, Undisputed, a sports talk show on FS1. On Christmas Day 2017, Carter released the mixtape Dedication 6, the sixth installment of the Gangsta Grill's chronology. The second part was released on January 26, 2018. Carter 5 was finally released on September 27, 2018, the day of Carter's 36th birthday, debuting at number 1 on the U.S. Billboard 200 with 480,000 album equivalent units, including 140,000 pure album sales. It is the second largest streaming week for an album behind former Young Money labelmate Drake's Scorpion with 433 million streams. It is also Carter's fourth number 1 Billboard 200 album. Every song on the album charted on the Billboard 100, while simultaneously charting 4 songs in the top 10, also becoming the first artist to debut 2 songs in the top 5. One of the album's singles, Uproar, produced by Swizz Beatz, was its leading, reaching number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100. It features a sample from rapper G. Deep's 2001 single, Special Delivery. Carter 5 has since been certified 2 times platinum by the RIAA. 2020-2021, Funeral and Trust Fund Babies. While Carter was working on Carter 5, it was announced that his next album would be titled Funeral. On January 23, 2020, he revealed the album's release date and album artwork. Funeral was released on January 31st, and debuted at number 1 on the U.S. Billboard 200, with 139,000 album equivalent units, becoming his 5th U.S. number 1 album. The album received generally mixed to positive reviews from music critics. On February 2, 2020, Lil Wayne competed in Season 3 of The Masked Singer after the Super Bowl 54 as Robot. He was the first to be eliminated. Carter featured on Lil Baby's track Forever, a track from Baby's second studio album, My Turn, which was released on February 28, 2020. The song's music video was released on March 3, 2020. This marked the second collaboration for the 2 artists in 2020, with the first being on Carter's single, I Do It. On April 24, 2020, Lil Wayne, along with Lit Live, formerly at the time, Dash Radio, launched his own radio show, Young Money Radio, on Apple Music through its subdivision Apple Music One. Wayne described the show as having heavyweights calling and discussing sports, music, comedy, everything. Quote. On July 3, Lil Wayne released his 11th studio album, Free Weezy Album, 2015, on streaming services to commemorate its 5-year anniversary. The album charted at number 77 on the Billboard 200 the following week. On May 29, Wayne released the deluxe edition of Funeral featuring artists such as Doja Cat, Tory Lanez, Lil Uzi Vert, Benny the Butcher, Conway the Machine and Jessie Reyez. On August 28, Wayne released another old project, his 2009 mixtape No Ceilings, for commercial release. He also celebrated the release by collaborating with A$AP Ferg on the song, No Ceilings. Wayne was featured on Youngboy Never Broke Again's album Top on the track My Window, released on September 11. His verse received praise from critics. On September 25, he released the deluxe edition of his 12th album Decarter 5 to celebrate the album's second anniversary. It consists of songs that did not make the cut on the original album. On November 27, 2020, Lil Wayne released the mixtape, No Ceilings 3, while announcing the album, I Am Not a Human Being 3 for 2021, although it would not be released that year due to delays. On October 1, 2021, Wayne and Rich the Kid released a collaborative mixtape titled Trust Fund Babies, along with a music video for the single, Feelin' Like Tenechi. The mixtape took roughly a month and a half to record. On their working relationship, Wayne said, For me, it's the chemistry, it's the camaraderie because first of all, Rich like my little bro and me and Rich been rockin' for a minute. 2023 till present, welcome to Kala Groove and Decarter 6. On March 31, 2023, Wayne dropped his first ever greatest hits album titled I Am Music. It included the then unreleased Can't Nobody featuring DMX, whose song, Niggas Done Started Something, 1998, was sampled through. Wayne and DMX previously collaborated on Dogs Out, a track from the latter's posthumous album, Exodus, which was released a month after his death in 2021. Wayne released a single titled Cat Food on September 1, 2023. That October, Lil Wayne released a mixtape, To Fix Before To Be. On November 3, 2023, Wayne was featured on the remix to Sierra and Chris Brown's single, How We Roll. That same month, he and 2 Chainz released a collaborative album, Welcome to Kala Groove. A sequel to 2 Chainz's 2016 album, Kala Groove. Wayne was credited as a co-leading artist as he was previously unable to receive credit for its predecessor, due to his prior legal issues involving his cash money dispute. On February 6, 2025, during an advert for Cetaphil, Wayne announced that Decarter 6 would be released on June 6, 2025. On February 17, after being critical of his Mona Lisa collaborator Kendrick Lamar replacing him as the headliner of the Super Bowl 59 halftime show, Carter performed for the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary special. Future and unreleased projects. Carter has announced several possible upcoming projects, including a collaborative album entitled I Can't Feel My Face with Harlem-based rapper Juelz Santana, that has been in production for several years. In late 2011, it was announced by Mac Main that Carter and Juelz Santana had gone back to work on their collaborative album I Can't Feel My Face, which had been delayed for a few years due to label politics. On June 19, 2008, Carter and T-Pain formed a duo called T-Wayne with plans to release an album titled He Raps, He Sings. However, those plans have died down due to much of the material recorded for the album being leaked. T-Pain ultimately released T-Wayne as a mixtape in 2017. According to an interview with Drake, in the December 2011 issue of XXL, plans for an upcoming album with Carter had been scrapped for the time being because of the Jay-Z and Kanye West collaboration album Watch the Throne, 2011. In April 2012, on the premiere of MTV's Hip Hop Pop, Carter sat down with Amanda Seales and spoke briefly about an album he put together titled Devil, Love Backwards, an album full of love songs that he wrote during his imprisonment at Rikers Island. In May 2013, he confirmed the album will still be released. Carter's once ongoing litigation with Cash Money prevented numerous completed projects from being released. In January 2017, Young Money revealed the title of a planned Carter album called Velvet. The album ended up leaking online in November 2018. Carter has 4 children. His first child, daughter Regina, was born November 29, 1998, when he was 16, to his high school sweetheart and later ex-wife Toya Johnson. Internet rumors circulated in August 2008 that Carter's daughter had died in an auto accident. He immediately dispelled them. His second child, son Dwayne III, was born on October 22, 2008, at the Christ Hospital in Cincinnati to former radio personality Sarah Beeben. His third child, son Cameron, was born to actress Lauren London on September 9, 2009. His fourth child, son Neil, was born on November 30, 2009, to singer Nivea. Carter met his high school sweetheart Toya Johnson when he was 15 and she was 14, respectively. After dating on and off for 7 years, they married on Valentine's Day, February 14, 2004, and divorced in January 2006. Johnson cited her inability to cope with his lifestyle and the fact he had communicated with his other former romantic partners prior. More specifically, his career kept him away from their home for long periods of time. Despite being divorced, the two have remained good friends and continued to jointly support their daughter, Regina. In February 2002, after he first broke up with Johnson, he began dating singer Nivea. On the 2007 song, Something You Forgot, he explained his feelings for Nivea, whom he got engaged to in December 2002 but broke off the engagement with in August 2003. Nivea stated that Carter tried to make her quit doing music so that he could take care of her, but also acknowledged that the song was written about her. Previously having known each other since 1999, Carter and Lauren London reconciled following his divorce from Johnson in 2006, but broke up again in 2009, after London found out that she was pregnant at the same time as Carter's ex-girlfriend, Nivea. In a May 2011 radio interview, London said of her relationship with Wayne and his fatherhood, "I met Wayne when I was 15 years old. I've known him a very long time, and we were in a relationship that didn't make it. We tried more than once to revive it, and we were engaged briefly years ago, but we eventually parted ways. People see that Lil Wayne personality and think they know who he really is. My son's father is an intelligent, loving, and lovable person who will always be a dear friend. And that will never change. That is all." On the 500 Degrees track, Young and Blues, he discussed his breakup with Toya Johnson and his issues with London, while he nicknamed the latter, Young Cali Sweet Thing. Carter began dating rapper Trina in 2005, after featuring on her single, Don't Trip. The two were discussing future plans for engagement and moving to Florida to live together. However, in 2006, after Trina suffered a miscarriage from what was later confirmed to be her and Carter's unborn child, they have grown distant from one another. It was during that time when Trina developed an affair with Carter's would-be rival, rapper Young Buck. In October 2007, the relationship ended after Trina realized that it was not properly empathized. According to her, it was the cause of the pair being young and not knowing what we were doing. The two reunited to collaborate for the 2013 single, Wowzers, and 2019's Situation, and remain on good terms. Carter and Nivea reconciled in early 2008 following Nivea's divorce from singer-songwriter The Dream. Both were re-engaged in 2009, but Nivea decided to end her relationship with Carter while pregnant with their son, and they called off their engagement for the second time in June 2010, in the midst of Carter's prison sentence. He dated model Karine Steffans, on and off from 2007 to 2014. Carter briefly dated Dana Lee in 2012. He entered into an intimate relationship with glamour model Tammy Torres from 2009 to 2010. While imprisoned, Drake encouraged him not to rekindle his relationship with Torres due to him already having had an encounter with her. After ending his relationship with Torres and mending over his falling out with Drake, Carter later got involved with Dia Sodano from 2011 to 2019. In July 2014, it was rumored that Carter was dating singer Christina Milian, with whom he attended the ESPY Awards. They later confirmed their relationship in mid-2015, after which they received criticism from their interconnected exes, singer Nivea and songwriter The Dream. They split in August 2015, having collaborated on multiple singles, videos, and concert dates. Wayne was engaged to model Latesha Thomas but called off the engagement in May 2020. A month later, it was announced that Wayne had started dating Denise Bidot, another model. In November 2020, they reportedly broke up over Wayne's endorsement of Donald Trump. Shortly after, it was reported that the couple had reconciled. Wayne and Bidot later broke up again in January 2022. On October 18, 2024, Carter began dating chef Leangeli Murphy. Carter's son, Neil Carter, currently performs music under the alias Lil Novi. Beliefs and interests. In an interview with Blender, Carter said that one of his favorite bands from childhood was rock group Nirvana, and cites them as a major influence in his music. Carter got his first tattoo at age 14 of his dad's name, and his second was Cash Money, across his stomach. His tattoos have grown to include a Jay-Z verse on his leg, I Am Music, on his forehead, and teardrops on his cheeks, among many others. His most recent one is baked on his forehead, stylized as the Baker Skateboards logo. Carter identifies as a Catholic. While playing in Newark Symphony Hall, Carter professed his belief in God and his son, Jesus. During his 2011 tour in Australia with Eminem, before beginning his bracket, he proclaimed his belief in God. After earning his GED, Carter enrolled at the University of Houston in January 2005. He dropped out in the same year due to his conflicting schedule. He also stated on The View that he switched to the University of Phoenix and majored in psychology, taking online courses. An article in Herb magazine in March 2007 asserted that Carter had been earning high grades at Houston. In 2016, Carter purchased Players Rep. Sports agency, and became Young Money APAA Sports, which hired NFL's first female sports agent, Nicole Lynn. She currently represents Seth Roberts, Corey Nelson, Jordan Evans, Malik Jefferson, Eric Harris, Quinnen Williams, as well as NCAA coaches, and 2 former number 1 pro softball draft picks. On October 29, 2020, less than a week before the presidential election, Carter posted an image of him and President Donald Trump to Twitter. In the caption for the photo, Carter stated that he and Trump had recently met to discuss criminal justice reform and Trump's Platinum Plan, an initiative which aims to raise access to capital in black communities by almost $500 billion. Carter claimed Trump listened to what we had to say today and assured he will and can get it done. Health problems. On October 25, 2012, Carter's private jet bound for Los Angeles made an emergency landing in Texas due to an in-flight medical episode. Lil Wayne was transferred to a local hospital upon arrival. TMZ and other media sources said that Carter had suffered a seizure aboard the plane. His publicist denied this, saying that he was in fact treated for a severe migraine and dehydration. The following day, while flying from Texas to Los Angeles, Carter's private jet was reportedly again forced to make an emergency landing, this time in Louisiana, after he suffered a second seizure and required further hospitalization. His representative said that the reports of Carter's condition had been exaggerated, and that he was resting at his Louisiana home. In a November 2012 interview with MTV, Carter stated that he was taking seizure medication, on doctor's orders, due to the aforementioned incidents. On March 14, 2013, TMZ reported that Carter had been treated at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles on the evening of March 12, after having seizures while on a music video set with Young Money rapper Nicki Minaj. He was reportedly released in the early hours of March 13. On March 15, TMZ published a second story, claiming that hours after his release on March 13, Carter was found unconscious after experiencing further seizures, and was brought back to Cedars-Sinai, where he was admitted to the intensive care unit in critical condition. The article alleged the latest seizures were found to be linked to high amounts of codeine in Carter's system, possibly due to binging on purple drink after his initial hospital release. Multiple celebrities, including Drake and Birdman, were photographed on March 15 and 16 visiting Carter at Cedars-Sinai. Several members of Young Money Entertainment, including President Mac Main, criticized media reports on Carter's hospitalization, particularly those of TMZ, alleging that they exaggerated the severity of his condition and falsely implied that he was on his deathbed, such as by saying that he was in a medically induced coma, triggering what the Washington Post called the most overheated celebrity death watch in recent years. In separate interviews on March 18, Mac Main and Birdman disputed TMZ's reports, and stated that in fact there were not multiple seizures or multiple hospital visits. They explained that after Carter began seizing on the way to the music video shoot on March 12, an ambulance was called and he was transported to the hospital, where he was admitted and remained continuously thereafter. They also refuted the claims that Carter's seizures are drug-induced, saying that they are an ongoing problem for which doctors have been unable to identify a cause. Carter was released from the hospital late on March 18, following a 6-day stay. He addressed his condition via a vlog, on March 21, saying he was more than good. Carter had 2 seizures in June 2016, during a cross-country flight from Wisconsin to California, and landed in Omaha, Nebraska. His plane was only 2 minutes in the air when the second seizure occurred, forcing the plane to land in Omaha once again. Less than a month later, he had another seizure, supposedly due to not taking his epilepsy medication. Carter canceled a Las Vegas show on September 3, 2017, having had a seizure in a Chicago hospital earlier that day, where he was brought after being found unconscious in a hotel room. In June 2023, Carter acknowledged that he now had trouble remembering his songs due to memory problems caused by his epilepsy. On February 19, 2008, Carter and his manager Cortez Bryant revisited their alma mater McMain Secondary School to get students to design an invitation to the gala introducing Carter's nonprofit One Family Foundation. Other ventures. Books. Carter wrote a memoir of his experience in Rikers Island called Gone Till November, a journal of Rikers Island that was released October 11, 2016. Cannabis industry. In December 2019, Carter announced his own cannabis brand under the name of GKUA Ultra Premium. Sports media. On September 24, 2008, Carter published his first blog for ESPN in their issue, ESPN the Magazine. Carter said that he was a fan of tennis, the Green Bay Packers, the Boston Bruins, the Los Angeles Lakers and the Boston Red Sox. To commemorate the Packers making it to Super Bowl 45, he spoofed Wiz Khalifa's hit song, Black and Yellow, which were the colors of the Packers' opponents, the Pittsburgh Steelers, in a song titled Green and Yellow. He released a second version of the song in 2021, which was requested by the Packers, and updated with the current roster. Carter has continued writing for ESPN, notably reporting at the ESPN Super Bowl party. On January 6, 2009, Carter was a guest debater against Skip Bayless on the First and 10 segment of ESPN First Take. On February 10, 2009, he appeared on ESPN's Around the Horn and beat out veterans Woody Page, Jay Mariotti and fellow New Orleanian Michael Smith to win that show's episode. Carter made his debut on ESPN's daily sports roundtable show Around the Horn on February 10, 2009. Carter created the intro song, No Mercy, for the Fox Sports 1 sports debate show Undisputed. After Shannon Sharpe's departure from the show, Carter created a new theme song for Undisputed, Good Morning. Carter also joined the series as a regular guest opposite Bayless. Carter has mentioned being a fan of Latvian tennis player Jelena Ostapenko, and was extended an invite to the 2024 US Open. Carter also thanked Ostapenko, who attended Drake's tour featuring Lil Wayne. Legal issues, arrests, incarceration, and presidential pardon. On July 22, 2007, Carter was arrested in New York City following a performance at the Beacon Theater. The New York City Police Department discovered Carter and another man smoking marijuana near a tour bus. After taking Carter into custody, police discovered a .40 caliber pistol near his person. The gun, which was registered to his manager, was in a bag located near the rapper. He was charged with criminal possession of a weapon and marijuana. Following a performance at Quest Arena in Boise, Idaho, Carter was arrested October 5, 2007, on felony fugitive charges after Georgia authorities accused the rapper of possessing a controlled substance. The incident was later described as a mix-up, and the fugitive charges were dropped. On January 23, 2008, Carter was arrested alongside two others. His tour bus was stopped by Border Patrol agents near Yuma, Arizona. A K-9 unit recovered 105 grams, 3.7 ounces, of marijuana, almost 29 grams, 1.0 ounces, of cocaine, 41 grams, 1.4 ounces, of ecstasy, and $22,000 in cash. Carter was charged with 4 felonies: possession of narcotic drug for sale, possession of dangerous drugs, misconduct involving weapons and possession of drug paraphernalia. He was granted permission to travel outside of the state and remain out of custody on the $10,185 bond he posted. On May 6, 2008, Carter returned to court in Arizona to plead not guilty to the charges. A bench warrant was issued on March 17, 2010, when Carter did not show for a final trial management conference. However, he was already incarcerated, serving a 1-year sentence on Rikers Island on weapons charges. On June 22, 2010, Carter pleaded guilty to the charges. As part of the plea deal, he was able to serve 36 months of probation, which he was sentenced to on June 30, 2010. On December 18, 2009, Carter and 11 others were detained at the Falfurrias, Texas Border Patrol checkpoint after an unknown amount of marijuana was found on 2 of his tour buses. On October 22, 2009, Carter pleaded guilty to attempted criminal possession of a weapon. He was due for sentencing in February 2010 and was expected to receive a 1-year county jail sentence, but on February 9, 2010, Carter's attorney announced that the sentencing was delayed until March 2 due to dental surgery, which was performed on February 16. The surgery included 8 root canals, the replacement of several tooth implants, as well as the addition of a few new implants and work on his remaining original teeth. On March 2, 2010, sentencing was postponed again when the courthouse reported a fire in the basement. On March 8, 2010, Carter was given a 1-year sentence, which he served on Rikers Island. His lawyer said the rapper expected to be held in protective custody, separated from other prisoners. In May 2010, Carter was found by Rikers Island correctional staff to be in possession of contraband, an MP3 player, charger, and headphones. In April 2010, Carter's friends created a website called Wheezy Thanks You, which published letters written by Carter while incarcerated. In the first letter, titled Gone Till November, Carter said he was staying in good spirits, thinking about his children and spending his time working out regularly and reading the Bible every day. Carter was released from Rikers Island Jail on November 4, 2010, after serving 8 months of his year-long sentence. On December 12, 2020, Carter pleaded guilty to a federal firearms charge brought against him by the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida. This plea stemmed from an incident during December of the previous year, when Carter was arrested in Florida after transporting a loaded handgun on his private jet from California. As a convicted felon, he is barred from possessing such weapons. He was pardoned by U.S. President Donald Trump on January 19, 2021, his last full day in office. Lawsuits. On July 24, 2008, ABKCO Music filed a lawsuit against Carter for copyright infringement and unfair competition, specifically referring to Carter III's track Playing with Fire. In the lawsuit, ABKCO says that the song was obviously derived from the Rolling Stones' Play with Fire, to which ABKCO owns the rights. Subsequently, Playing with Fire was removed from the track list of Carter III on all online music stores and replaced with the David Banner-produced track Pussy Monster. In February 2009, production company RMF Productions filed a $1.3 million lawsuit against Carter following a $100,000 advance payment for 3 shows, all of which were canceled by the artist. In October 2009, Carter, Birdman, Cash Money Records, and various music distribution outlets were sued for copyright infringement by Thomas Marichulo, who says his voice was used without permission. The rappers asked him to record some Italian-styled spoken word recordings in 2006. The lyrics were allegedly used on Respect and other tracks from the rapper's collaboration album Like Father, Like Son and Birdman's 5-Star Stunna. In March 2011, producer Diesel, Darius Harrison, sued Carter and his parent labels Cash Money Records over unpaid royalties from Carter III. 2 months later, that May, producer Bangladesh also filed a lawsuit against Wayne over unpaid royalties as well. In early June 2011, another producer named David Kirkwood filed a lawsuit against Young Money Entertainment and Cash Money Records on claims that the labels have failed to pay him over $1.5 million in royalties and production services for his work on the album, also including his songwriting on Love Me or Hate Me, a bonus song featured only on the deluxe edition of the album. Also in June 2011, Dallas producers Play and Skills filed a lawsuit against him, saying Carter owes them at least $1 million in unpaid royalties for Got Money from his album Carter III. The single has sold over 2 million copies since being released. In July 2011, Done Deal Enterprises, a production company based in Georgia, filed suit against Carter, Universal Music Group, Cash Money Records and Young Money Entertainment, claiming copyright infringement. The lawsuit alleges Carter stole the song Bedrock, featured on the compilation album We Are Young Money, and seeks damages of $15 million. In November 2012, Wayne was ordered to pay Quincy Jones $32.2 million based on a lawsuit which stated that the rapper blocked the release of Jones's film The Carter, therefore infringing on its profits.